I'm only... There we go. I hate having that tendency, but still. Anywho, now that I'm blind again, or don't, you know, abstain from making me not be able to see. So anyway, only 55 hours away from monetization, finally. And other than that, nothing new really has changed yet. So this is essentially going to be for Leo, Virgo, Libra. Wow, that sounds like a tongue twister. Leo, Virgo, Libra, and Scorpio. Those four. But before I begin, the little witchy tip. And it's actually like mind-boggling simple. I'm actually going to share this real quick. So that way you know if this... Oh, I don't think it can work. Oh well. Anyway. So, part of this witchy tip is actually something that is mind-boggling. Like the minute that I tell you, you're going to be like, really? Wow, how come I didn't think of this? I was the same thing. I thought the same thing too. When, you know, the thought process just... Because it's... The best put it, it's been like right in front of your face for so long, but you just didn't notice it because you were probably instead looking for specific materials that were much bigger, much taller, and much more fitting the bill, if that makes sense. So what on earth is this magical tip? I can't seem to find a candle color that I'm needing for a specific working. I really hope you're ready for this, because I am dead serious. Actually, hold on. I'm going to do something right quick. I'll be back, promise. Just going to get some stuff out of my life. Not literally, but you know what I mean. There we go. So what is this little witchy tip? It's so simple, and it's so like, really, dude? Wow, I feel stupid. Because it's like, literally, only 99 cents. And all you need, if you need a specific candle color and you can't seem to find it at all, badoof, and there you go. You can't find pinks, just get a little of these ones. 99 cents, there's a pack of them. But if they're not tall enough, you just repeat the working over and over again. And then you adapt to it. You make the working and all the materials and everything that you're putting into it, you kind of cut it in half a little bit. You may have to burn more of these, oh well, but you have the rest, you have the steps in a way that your mind is like, okay, this is how it's supposed to be, and that way it won't be a hindrance to you. Or my personal favorite. I seem to can't find any black candles. There you go. And heck, these ones actually have gold edging on them. So if you want to offer something to, I don't know, Lucifer, well, there you go. Or even any of the left-hand divines, because I mean, for goodness sake, black and gold, that looks kind of luxurious, in my opinion. So, now really there should be like no excuse if like, I can't find the right candle color. Use these birthday ones and adapt to it. It's so minuscule and so simple. Trust me, honey. Save your headache. You might have to compensate more, but still, you'll have less headache. And now like a little bit of a witchy spell tip. Say if you're wanting to do a working to actually influence somebody and just target their mind. Or even you can do it on yourself. I have a box of these cute little skull shot glasses. A skull shot glass. Doesn't that look like a good position to put one of these in there? I hope so. Because that was the idea. Essentially what you would do, you would make this essentially turn into a pop. How do you do that? There's so many ways. If you're pretty much making this become you, you can you could pretty much put your blood on it and then just pretty much give it the command that this is now me. Whatever happens to this said solo cup also influences me, and whatever workings be done to this thing also affect me. So what you can do after when you have it become you by either one, pretty much covering it in like a drop of blood if you want to do it that way, or even if you just go and push right on top of the third eye spot like that, or if you want to make it fail proof, yes, fail proof, you can use your magic juices. Yeah, that juices, man juice and what deem fit menstrual blood. If you want to make it be like, okay, there's no way this is gonna miss. And once this becomes you, or insert whoever there, you just make a choice to decide, okay, so now what am I going to put into this representation of me, or, you know, insert person's name here. What am I going to put in their head? Well, you have these now, like I've showed you. Your pink candles? Okay. Let's make myself a little bit more... I don't know why that was going to pop in. Let's just make this a little bit more cheesy, woozy romance. Let me give me more of those thoughts. Simply just coat the candle in oil. You can rub it in some herbs, herbal mixtures, or put specific essential oils on it. You just burn the bottom of it, and you might have to stick it and hold it firm like that, so that way it'll stick and won't move. And then you can just have it be placed wherever you deem fit. And I would even take it an extra step further. And unless I have a little blue sack somewhere. It looks like the Brownie's got that too. Oh, never mind. That was a prank. They actually gave it back. And essentially what you could do is have that little skull solo cup glass essentially be surrounded by heart-shaped stones, as an example. And then pretty much just have them all facing towards this. And then just light the candle, and then everything will just go into the target's head. And the stones actually help empower and focus that intent as an option. And the good thing is that once you're finished with the working, you can easily relocate it to wherever you needed to put it. And once this thing gets completely full of wax, what you can actually do, melt the wax and then just recycle the wax into something new. And people might say, but that might mess up the intentions. Yep, it does, but the whole thing is that all of those intentions are not going to be made into one focus point. Fun fact. But nonetheless, enough of the witchy tips. Let's actually get to the meat of this stuff. So if by any chance, wait a minute. Hold on. Milkshake. You had one job and you still messed it up. Honey bear. Hold on, sorry about that. Let's try this again. So anyway, again, this is intended for the rising signs of the 4 signs that are being listed, which are Leo, Virgo, Libra, and one of my favorites, Scorpio. And now it's not my fault that I, understand Scorpios and I can handle their overkill. Don't be hating now. I mean, I'd be jealous too if I couldn't take the sting. Hey, it's funny, okay? Kinkerdoodle. Well, hopefully. So anyway, now, Just a second. Let me just, there we go. Okie dokie. So, first up is Leo. And just like before, it's going to be one dark goddess, and it's not going to be any of the cards I've already pulled from yesterday. So everybody's going to get something unique every time. No double doubles, hopefully. So anyway, without further ado, let's just get this out of my this thingy out of my face. Oh, that sounds so suggestive, but who cares? So anywho, let's do this bloody thing and hope I don't, embarrass thyself. So anyway. Kinky, okay. So, for Leo, what can we know about Leo? Which dark goddess is going to be by the side of Leo this month? We have it chosen, and now the daemon that's going to be coming about. So, which a left-handed divine or questionable card within this deck? Because there are some cards in this deck that are like, why is there a broomstick in this deck? Okay. Why are we talking about red and broomsticks? That sounds suggestive. And why is there a Greek sorceress as a demon? Like, what? Let's see. Alrighty, so our dark goddess is Sekhmet for empowerment, but I'm getting a bit of sass with this one. And Amon, Marquise Amon. And it just so happens that being Leo and Sekhmet came out, well, because she's a lioness. Leo, lion, planned. And just quinky dinky. Amon, Marquise Amon, Amon-Ra. Something's fishy, and it's neither one of them, and it ain't me. Something seems planned here. Amon-Ra. Potentially, maybe father and daughter? Never know. But anyway, so those are your two oracles, and now for the tarot, you're having the definitely not Tim Burton tarot, or the Deviant Moon tarot. I like to call it definitely not Tim Burton because, oh, that doesn't look like Tim Burton's work. It's not copyrighted. It looks like it. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Core of this month for you, Leo, is King of Pentacles. He has nice heels. Like he's wearing high heels, okay? Nothing wrong with the king that Noah has a good cap. I mean, look at King Louis the... I think he was the 8th? Or the 14th? 13th? One of those. So the core is the King of Pentacles for security, health, financial, and work. King of Swords. Looks like we got a King of the Ground and King of Blowing It. He who blows most. Oh, God. It's a joke, okay? When it comes for educational pursuits, intelligence, and, possibly even expanding one's horizon or skill set. Wow, this is definitely odd. King of Wands. We have the three kings. Hanky, Panky, and Spanky. And I like how the King of Wands is looking at the King of Pentacles, and they usually conflict. I'm just gonna laugh so hard the King of Cups comes out and be like, okay. Anyway. The obstacle or the motivating force for the week. Please, honey bear, please do not give me the King of Cups, because that's gonna be too freaky deaky do. Or just do it just to give me a heart attack. I thought it was, but it wasn't. Obstacle or your motivating force is the Ace of Solo Cups. Emotions and feelings, relationships, even spirituality. The emotional side, easy cupcake. Okay, we'll go with the Ace of Swords. We got 3 kings, 2 aces, a sassy dark goddess, and the left-hand divine depiction of her father, potentially. I could be wrong, so hit me upside the head with a blunt object if that's the case. Oh, Leo, looks like somebody has a reading that's going to be quite significant. By quite, I mean like, when does this happen? And your last card for suggested courses of action, 9 of Pentacles, okay. So most definitely, I see this first. For the month of May, do not be afraid to be getting into, situations where you can turn up the sass. Don't be afraid to be all... If something's messing with you, or if something is not really giving you what's deserved for you, and if somebody's mistreating you, metaphorically, don't literally do this. May is the month to go flip the table on them and tell them how it is. If they're stupid, they're stupid. If they're mistreating you and treating you in a way that kind of does not make you feel like your best, get in their face and say, hey, piss it, stop it. No more of that. And whatever they try and say in response, just shh. No. You're not going to talk back. You're going to stop being an inconsiderate twathead. But get sassy. Because with Amon here, there has to be a reconciliation of the self. And sometimes you have to stand up for yourself to regain the deep interpersonal connection. Because on the mental level and the emotional level, they could compromise right now. So these two could be hinting at turn up the sass, stick up for you. So that way, mentally and emotionally, the reconciliation will come about of that. So at the core, being King of Pentacles, the big core is actually knowing your self-worth. And it's definitely assuring that, hey, do you mind? I'm royalty here. Besides, who owns this pentacle? It's mine, right? Kinky. So you don't, get sassy with the king. Evaluate and know for 100% your true worth. And if somebody is trying to make you lesser than you are and trying to misdirect you with that, yeah, well, just, take off your heel and then hit them in the face with it. Not literally, don't literally do that, metaphorically. Just unleash the sass monster on them. Because your reconciliation with your mental and emotional health is always priority number 1. It may have something to do with your sense of security and your health, or even at workplace. But what I'm really getting with at this is that potentially there may be something involving a medical provider that you're getting kind of sick of it, and you're kind of being to the point of being like, okay, was trying to be just and fair. You leave me no choice to put you in timeout. Gonna put a big ball around your neck, and now you're gonna sit there, and now you're gonna be thinking this over and trying to do what's best for me. If you don't, well, if you see this long pointy thing, yes, we're gonna go in your tush. So expect possibly you may have to stand up and may have to take some action against somebody who's an authoritative figure and let them know your worth and that you need to have your sense of security as a priority. No ifs, ands, or buts, or tushies. Communications, interactions with other people, and pursuing a new type of educational investment or learning something new. King of Wands. Well, most definitely, if you're wanting to learn something or communicate, you're going to be having a lot of bang to your voice. So make sure that you express yourself vibrantly and in a way that people can, make it, be understood. And if you have to, even make it what I like to call idiot proof, meaning that if somebody doesn't understand this legit, there's something wrong with them. They may not know how to listen or they don't know simple English. Get Bernie, not Bernie, don't get Bernie Sanders, that might be a bad decision, that might be illegal. But get the flame burning and be afraid to get sassy. Express, it's just like the old saying, except not really. Not speaking soft. But speak aloud and carry a big stick that's lit on fire and start poking them if they don't do what they're supposed to do. Obstacle or motivating force. Obstacle, potentially you may be in a position where you might not have all that you were expecting be bestowed to you emotionally, and you may be feeling unfulfilled if it doesn't get fulfilled the way you want to. Motivating force. If you are able to do what must be done for your well-being, your mental and emotional health will see substantial restoration and be going towards the betterment of it. Just make sure that your needs and your emotional needs are met and they are valid. I don't care if Dick Cheney even says, no, your feelings are invalid. Well, dude, you shot a guy going hunting for deer and you thought he was a deer, but no. Ensure that your feelings are heard and they are most definitely valid. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. When it comes to romance, the cheesy woozy woo and spirituality, you might be potentially maybe getting more clarity on the spiritual side and understanding how to connect better to divinity in some way, shape, or form. When it comes to, say, meeting other people, you might be a bit guarded and you might be being point blank saying, like, listen, Cupcake, this is how I want it. And you see this pointy thing? Yeah, if you play BS games with me, it's going to go right in between your legs, so don't do it. If you're already potentially with somebody long term, or if you're already like coupled with somebody else, this could actually be potentially there might be a situation where you might be guarded. So potentially, I would suggest just be civil about it, and for goodness sake, don't poke them in the tush with it. Suggested course of action: flaunt yourself. And if people are wondering why the heck is this Leo so confident, I mean, heck, I'd be jealous too if I didn't have a onesie like that. I mean, come on. Look how magenta that is. And besides, do you see those heel? Well, that one heel? You see that heel? Even King Louis the Eighth, I think? Yeah. King Louis the Eighth wished he had a heel like that. Because back then, what they used to do is they used to like flaunt their heel and be like, well, look how big my heel is. Oh, them heels. But seriously, best course of action is to take full pride of yourself because you most definitely deserve it. And don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. They'll flaunt that mane and, make everybody wish they could be feisty and fancy like thy. That's what I got for Leo. Okay, so next up is the Virgo. And we will be having you guys get the Todo de la Nuit. And that was supposed to be French, but that was a critical fail. Oh, wee, that sucked to me. I think that was French, but nonetheless. Alrighty, now for Virgo. the most reliable sign if you need to have something be like completely perfected and get all the BS out of it. So the Dark Goddess for Virgo this month. Let's see. I saw something that try and fly right towards my face like some dust or something. I don't know. Alrighty, for Virgo we have. So Virgo, your Dark Goddess is dear woman. For temptation. Perfect. I just love when that happens. So, your Dark Goddess is dear woman. Temptation. Oh boy. Oh boy. Careful with that one. And just make sure she doesn't like tempt you off a cliff. Because that would be very unfortunate. Okay though, let's see what we get here. And your daemon is Lord Beelzebub. I just got this song. I don't know if you guys know this song. You might be too young to know this, but what do I know? No, not the song by Miley Cyrus. No, not that one. If any of you so happen to know a band from Russia called Tattoo, they actually have a song called Fly on the Wall. Literally. I suggest you listen to that song. I would sing it, but YouTube be like, well, wait a minute, it's copyrighted. Okay, still. Dear Woman is your Dark Goddess, and Lord Beelzebub is your Daemon for May. So we got a lot of temptation to be all being a fly on the wall, getting intel and, spying. But we'll have to wait until we see what comes out of your tarot deck as well. So, hit the cross for Virgo. Core of this month of May. Easy milkshake. Almost just broke my finger. The core of it all is the Ten of Pentacles. So it looks like we have a lot of flaunting in the physical world of being content and knowing the worth and flaunting achievement. Because, good Lord, Lanta, look at her. She looks like a fantasy Lady Gaga. And that crown, though. Lord Lanta, dear. Easy there. At least for the health, mundane, everyday, security, financial gain, and all that woozy-woo. We have the Hong Kong Fooey Chariot, but this depiction is not going face first. It's actually a woman in a meditative state, and she's actually holding two chess pieces. A white knight and a black knight. And there's a full moon behind her, so keep that in mind. Communications, learning a new subject or intelligence, or, the element of blowing it. Not literally blowing it. Two of Wands. Oh, what is that play by Shakespeare? Alas, poor Yorick. That just popped in my head. Sorry, I couldn't resist. So, Two of Wands is for your error. For obstacle or motivating force for May. Well, this is not really that much of a obstacle, but motivating force, Queen of Wands. Good Lord, Lanta, honey. Yeesh. Well, good morning, USA. And regarding the emotions, cheesy, woozy, wooey, art thou Romeo, and, he loves me not, and, the peddling an innocent flower, and spirituality. We have the Lovers planned. And one last card for suggested courses of action to be taken. Just for giggles. we have the Eight of Cups. And this is a bit of a different kind of Eight of Cups. In fact, she's kind of like, guess what I'm doing? Bye, Felicia. Bye-bye. Just that look on her face. So, here is what I got. At least for the Dark Goddess and Beelzebub. Temptation to be just, keeping tabs on somebody to make sure that they're not doing something they shouldn't be doing, or the urge to have awareness in something that you might find something that might be a little bit, awkward, but still, nonetheless. Try your best to make sure that whatever you accidentally stumble upon, or if you do intentionally stumble upon something, trying to, dig up something, try your best to not use it as a weapon and weaponize it. Try your best. Unless if it has to be done to, protect somebody else. But if it's a secret that's something like, oh, you're one of those kind of people, well, yeah, you can have a spear to the face. That's different though. So just ensure that you don't overstep your boundary in being a fly on the wall. Because sometimes that can lead to having more than just the risk of being caught and you being, hot water. You could actually also potentially risk having trust be destroyed. You could also potentially risk losing respect for somebody. As well, at the same time, you could be hit with some emotional and mental damage because of it. It's just a potential. So be careful not to be all, is he doing it? I hope he's not doing it. Don't do it. It's fake. It's made of plastic. Don't go for it. It'll melt if you get it too hot. Don't go for it. It's plastic. That's right. So don't be trying to, eavesdrop if you can help it. Even if they're going with someone who's not real. But the rest for the month of May, your focus has got to be on your sense of fulfillment and enjoying the gains that are going to be coming this month. Because the best way I'm going to put this chariot is this. You most definitely have had a lot of patience. And just taking a lot of meditative deep breaths like, I could just stand up right now and sidekick this twithead in the face. But I'm better than that. Besides, I've already manipulated them for my plan. Not literally, but metaphorically, because holding the pieces. You actually may come to find out that the plan that you had involving two other people actually came to a success. And now pretty much you're just waiting in perfect stillness, waiting for the rewards to come about. But when it comes to communicating something to somebody else or pursuing a new subject, you possibly may be left with a choice. You take and hold on to something that has kicked the bucket metaphorically and has no more service to you, or do you do like how what's that game called? Or you do it like Hellblade and when Senua took what's his name? Dillion's head. Yeah, put it in a bag and then attached it to her, hip. You have to make the choice to decide: do you take Belvedere with you, or do you leave Belvedere and throw it off a cliff? That'll have to be your choice. Do you take this thing that has a lot of significance to you with you, or do you play golf with it and just knock it off into the sunset? And if you let this go, you may actually make room for something like more communications or being able to learn a new skill or a new subject much easier than having Belvedere on your hip. Your obstacle or your motivating force? Well, as an obstacle, not really much of an obstacle because the best way I'm going to describe this Queen of Wands is like, well, she's here and BAM! Like literally, like, well, hello there, ma'am. You just stepped into my, awareness and now I'm blind. Sheesh. And I thought this guy reading this tarot deck was flaming hot. Good Lord, Atlanta, and I can't even see straight, literally. But nonetheless, potential obstacle is that don't be too flaunty and be all like, I know myself, and you should be jealous. Instead, as your motivating force, know that you have a lot of will and drive to pretty much inspire yourself to obtain this radiant status and standing. And despite, if you are potentially being challenged by somebody who thinks that they're off fancy, okay, I got Iggy Azalea stuck in my head. If somebody thinks they're fancy, well, to be technical, everybody's fancy, so nobody is really technically really, quote unquote, because everybody has something that they're fancy with. So make sure you don't overblow yourself. That sounds so vulgar. Don't overblow yourself. Don't make yourself be too flaming hot. That didn't help it at all either, but still. Just know that how much fire you can flame with. I quit. And don't overflame. Just know that you have the confidence within. For now, when it comes to the spiritual aspect, as well as Romeo, O thy Romeo, well, this is self-explanatory. But for specifically, if there's somebody who thinks that, they can just come up and just grab your chin and think, well, look at you, you have to look up at me. That's not really how a relationship should be. It should be equal 50-50. Don't let somebody think that, oh, well, look at you, you're below me. Well, joke's on you, dude, because I'm closer to, your sausage links, so better be careful. I'm going to knee in the nuts. Just make sure that the bond or investment between you and somebody else is fair and equal, and that nobody is kind of intimidating you to do something you don't want to do. If you're not with somebody currently, you actually may potentially have a lot of woozy wooers come towards you this month of May. Just remember to hold your ground and look not impressed and like, really, dude? You think you can stroke my chin, okay, whatever, but you ain't gonna get something else stroked, I'll tell you that much, dude. Just know your boundaries and don't let anybody do that to you. If you're currently with someone, potentially, maybe, just maybe, there might be some, sweet, cheesy romantic gestures this month coming from other. Or heck, you could be doing it. Depends. Depends who's, wearing the pants. But if you're both wearing pants, good. It's equal. Suggested course of action to take this month, 8 of Cups. But in this depiction, I'm getting something different. Oh, and for gigglies. So that way you know. We have 2 full moons, so expect something significant for the full moon of this month of May. Best course of action? Don't be afraid to tell whatever is not serving you. Hey, you know what I can do? I can just go this way, turn around, and, flip a bird your direction. So don't make me do it, because once you're gone, you're gone. Because I really only need myself, hon. I don't need you, so don't make me do it. Oh, I'm almost out. You're gonna stop? Perfect. Don't be afraid to tell something that I ain't gonna put up with it. And I mean, heck, if you look over there, there's a full moon there. And I love me some full moon. Vulgar. But still. I have nothing to say. Just roll with it. So ensure that you go towards your peace of mind and your sense of feeling full. And if something tries to stop you, just tell it, okay, toodaloo, I'm off. And just be on your merry way. Hi, hey, is it pronounced Ziz? Zizmishi? I hope I said that right. I'm kind of new here with some names sometimes and pronunciation. So Virgo, that's what I got for you. It actually looks like a very fun Virgo Sun, Pisces Moon, and Gemini Rising. Wow, you have all 3 mutables. That's interesting. Because all 3 mutable signs are actually owned by Besides, did you know that all the mutable signs are actually owned by Lord Shiva? And all the fixed signs are owned by Vishnu, and all the cardinal are owned by Lord Brahma. Did you know that? I didn't know that until I actually came across it. Like, oh, surprise! The more you know. Okay, now Libra, which is my sign. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. And you'd be surprised because there's a lot of things that make you go, I didn't even, well, there's another thing to also know. Believe it or not, another random astrology fact. When you look at a clock, like a regular clock with hands, that clock, funny enough, is actually the circle chart for Western astrology. Like this, the wheel, there's your astrology chart. 12 signs, 12 numbers, 12 hours, one sign each hour, 24 hours in a day. Sign goes through pretty much. That's just how it is. So now Libra, which is my sun. No, like sun, like the ball, the great ball of flaming hot stuff, whatever. So now I'm going to be saying what, at least on my soul level, I'm getting for this month. So Libra, let's see what happens with Libra. Don't embarrass me, please. Oh, Libra is getting the heaven or hell tarot. It's really called heaven and earth. I prefer to call it heaven or hell because, you know, it sounds better. So let's see what another comes out for Libra. I'm kind of nervous. Like, please don't make me just be all, I quit. I'm done. Don't make me do that, please. God, I don't even want to know what that one is. So now for the demons, though. Let's see if it comes. Oh God. And my heart's racing. Please don't be something cheesy. I mean, go ahead. I dare you. Do it. I mean, what bad can go wrong? Fine. How the heck do you say that? Oh, okay. Like, who the heck does that one? Really? Okay. I guess that's how this thing's gonna play. Fine. So, Libra, your dark goddess is a Chang'e for obsession. Screw this deck. No. It was a joke. And Yanganti. I'm just gonna call it YGYT. YGYT. There we go. Because I have no idea how I'm gonna be able to pronounce that. Okay. Okay, so I'm just gonna go with it. And sheesh, if I start blushing, you can laugh at me. You can most definitely think, he has rosy cheeks. I could care less, really, but still. I have nothing to say. We're gonna go with it. So anyway, without further ado, so Libra, the heart of the month of May for you is temperance. For the mundane health, every 3D, you mean everyday mundane. Sense of security, work, you know, all over the place. Financials and all that woozy woo. Yeah, 4 wands, okay, we're not as embarrassed. Communications, interaction with other people, learning a new subject, gaining wisdom and intelligence. Ooh, we have Nine of Swords. Oh boy. Can you stop, reflecting my life, please, in front of a live studio audience? This is getting kind of embarrassing. Obstacle or motivating force. In my Vedic chart, I have Venus and Libra too, but my Mercury's Libra in both, and my Sun's Libra in Western. But I mean, on the Western side for me, my Venus is in Scorpio. Hey, I'll have you know, Venus in Scorpio, I'll tell you one thing. That will be loyal to the point where if, let's just say, if you think it's a good idea to cheat, they might come at you with something like this and get you in the neck. Hey, at least you know they're serious. At least you know they're not going anywhere, and they're intensely devoted to the point where it's like, I didn't know I was dating Mike Myers. No, I like you. 100%. Please don't. No. I was serious, dude. Yeah, I didn't know that. But also, they kind of love occult stuff too. So, Libra, obstacle, motivating force. Obstacle. Three of Swords. This depiction, however, though, we have no blood. There's no blood coming from the heart, so there's going to be a different interpretation. Motivating force has the Three of Swords. We'll get to that. Wow, we got a lot of related objects. Romance and cheesy woozy wooey. Oh boy, here we go. We have she who is intoxicated, the High Priestess. Oh good lord. So the one that killer brunette. Do you happen to know somebody who's a killer blonde and redhead? Because I mean, there's a brunette in here. Where's the other two? Don't tell me the blonde got stuck in the pool again. Again? But nonetheless, I'm natural blonde, so I can do it. I mean, I can say the joke. So, regarding emotions and the cheesy woozy wooey, and also spirituality, the priestess who is intoxicated. Okay. Oh boy. And then the suggested course of action could be cupcake. Easy. I'm going to just snap this card into two. Oh boy. Oh god. Libra's suggested course of action. God damn. Gabriel, we've been through this before. You're supposed to put the horn in your mouth, not up your nose. Wrong hole. Now you got everybody going, really, hun? Again? In the mouth and not in the nose. You don't blow it like that. Suggested course of action is judgment. This is way too in line with me right now, but whatever. So, Dark Goddess for this month. So, technically, does that make you platinum? I mean, you know what they say about platinum? Higher than gold. Gone gold? Well, she's platinum, the platinum club. So, Dark Goddess for Libra is Chang'e. So now one would say, oh, so it looks like somebody's going to be extra. Oh, you know what they say about Libra? The most considerate, but also the most chaotic. The most like, I cannot handle this right now. No, the hips aren't balanced because Libra actually represents the hips. Funny enough. Libra for the month of May. Since Chang'e is the goddess and pretty much for this month, it is most definitely saying, okay, girl, let the inner Scorpio out. Let that, oh my lord, Lanta devotion go. But again, the word obsession is more of a malefic term for devoted. So instead, this month, maintain your devotion and commitment to something that you hold dear. Don't matter what it is, if you're committed to it and you're really fixated and if it means a lot to you, stick to it. And if someone says, you should do something else, well, you should have duct tape over your mouth, dude. My life, not yours. For real, though. And for YGYT, yeah, well, you're not the only one. I'm too. For YGTY, I'm just going to call it that. Essentially, stay devoted and committed, even if you're like, I have no idea where I'm going, I have no idea what I'm doing. All that I know is that this way is where what I'm wanting and what I've been, focused on is at. I'm just going to go face first. For Virgo, essentially what you got was make sure you don't be too make sure you don't be too eavesdroppy. And even though it might be tempting, make sure you don't be eavesdropping too much because you might find something out that you probably regret finding out. So make sure you don't use what you find out as an advantage to hit someone with. Because Lord of the Flies being a fly on the wall and the everyone being like, oh, just take a looky look. What bad can go wrong? Heartbreak. Still. For Libra, though, stay devoted to what you were committed to, even if you haven't. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, heck, if you deem it fit, well, then just keep licking Mary Jane. No, it's not like you don't lick her. You blow her. You don't lick her. I'm new. There we go. As for Libra, you know which way you need to go, and even if you can't see what you're doing, don't matter. Just keep going towards it. Don't worry, you're not going to go off a cliff because for some reason there's no cliffs going in your direction. So just go Hong Kong fully for it. Stay focused. Because at the core of this month of May, there's going to be an alchemical process taking place. There's going to be a mixture and combining of two opposites into one. And from there, something new and improved can be pretty much created from it. And I don't know why I'm getting this, but I'm just going to go with it, because why the heck not? If for some reason, if you have the need to actually kind of balance between your emotions and somebody else and kind of, reevaluate where you stand emotionally this month, do it. If something is, causing you a bunch of headache, even if it's something that you've been devoted to and you've been fixated with, express how you feel and tell them, hey, you're breaking my heart for being stupid. Stop it. I agreed to stick with you through all your stupidity, but, can we kind of stop the stupidity, please? Because, they're not going to be making a Jackass remake. I hate to break it to you, so stop being this stupid. Kind of have that deeper, connected, alchemical transformation be taking place in May, because this is the optimal time. However, though, for the physical, 3D, sense of security, wealth, health, we have victory and grounded success. So you'll actually be able to pitch your tent? No, there's no tent in this. It's a house. Essentially, you'll be having a nice foundation to actually begin celebrating the gains and the progress you've made regarding, say, like a job, your health growing, or even heck, each stick represents potentially. And each one of these sticks can actually represent potentially a new income source. So essentially, for these 4 income sources, heck, you could possibly, build more than just one house. You can probably build, 20 mini cabins but probably not with that many sticks. You're going to need a lot more twigs than that. Communications, interactions with others, but also intelligence and the whatnot. We have 9 swords. So, if you're communicating with someone, be aware that if the thoughts are coming in your head like, oh no, I don't know, I don't want to talk to nobody. I really hope that, I really hope an anvil's not going to fall on my head. Please not the anvil again. The last time it almost got my foot. Please not again. But if there's something that has been haunting you, like in your past or something, because if you can take a look right here, there's some kind of wispy wisp figure right there. Just be for certain that your thoughts most definitely can actually surprisingly block it. So if something's trying to torment you, just remember to use your sharp pointy objects to be like, listen, Cupcake, I only need one of them to make you piss it, because one sword is clarity, and now there's 8 locking you in. So keep your mental health and make sure you express any kind of mental hardship or stress that you're going through to somebody who you trust. And if you're going to be learning a new subject, this potentially could be a hint to actually start looking into psychology. The obstacle or the motivating force? Obstacle. The obstacle, you're going to have to... This one's for this one's Libra. I just almost bit my tongue. For Libra, the obstacle, but also motivating force. Obstacle. Understand that you may be in a lot of pain, but if you don't get up... Wait a minute, were you the one that was like, oh my god, this one on Libra was so accurate, it almost made me think that, wow, how do you know my life? Were you that one? I know you didn't comment that literally, but... Well... It's not that I don't want to be an angel, it's just that knowing me, I'd probably, fly into the wall. I mean, I'm just being honest. I guess you just call me a white pigeon man? I don't know, I got nothing. For the obstacle, though, just understand that heartbreak is one of the things that is the most difficult to surpass. But the motivating force, even though your heart's been hurt and you're in a position where you're in extreme pain, wow, beat me to it. Well. Anyway, motivating force. Despite you being in pain, you still can stand up. You're still standing because there's no blood coming from the blade. So you're hurt. Oh, but I'm still standing. And that's how I like to interpret the 3 of Swords. If there's no blood. If there was blood coming off, then yeah, I'd be like, girl, you're bleeding out. You might want to get a medic in here. But know that the pain that you're going through, it may be overbearing and it may be difficult to get over, but you can stand up. You most definitely can surpass it. Regarding emotions and the spiritual aspect, the priestess who is highly intoxicated, high priestess. It's a joke, okay? Besides them humps in the background. I meant the camel, not those humps. The humpster, the camel. But anyway. So when it comes to the emotional side, you actually may be having a connection with a spiritual... Whatever. Anyway, you might be getting a spiritual connection with, say, like a certain divine, astral spirit, entity, or heck, let's get extra fancy with this. You might actually, if you're with somebody, might be all, I know what's been going on between these pillars. I mean, goodness sakes, there's a B there, and then there's a J there. You might be finding out something that you're not impressed with. Like, okay. You happen to see this little dagger over there? It so happens that it looks like she can easily just grab it and then just jump and stab you. And she's just trying so hard to keep her zen. So, but there's any kind of situation where you potentially may find out something this month, as tempting as it may be, keep your inner serenity. And don't grab the knife and stab him in the chest with it. And most definitely, when it becomes, say, like a crescent moon, make sure that you're primarily focusing on keeping your zen over everything else. Because if you don't, it sucks to be them. If you're if you're not really with somebody though, however, potentially maybe this might be a good time to actually take a rest from, trying to, date with more people and actually get to know more people and actually check in with yourself and your intuitive side to make sure that it's recovered or is in a state that way you can pick up on potential BS, you know, BS boys or something like that. Don't let them BS boys. Hey, this is going for me too. It's going for me too. This is almost two on point with me too, so that makes two of us. So just make sure that you keep your zen over everything. But if there's some BS going on, just just nod your head and say, "Oh, you're just a stupid child. That's okay. All stupid children get their brain reset eventually." Now, suggested course of action. God damn it, Gabriel, again. Wrong hole. You put it in your mouth, not your nose. I'm sorry, I just woke up and I I'm hungover. Dude, we've been through this. You put it in your mouth, not your nose, and blow. Jeez, do you not know how to blow it? Do you not know how to blow stuff, dude? Come on, dude. You're not new here. You're supposed to put it in your mouth, not your nose, but nonetheless. Your suggested course of action is to actually take all that you've learned from the previous few months, I'm getting, and see if you can pass the test now. Because now the test is coming back to test you again. And to see if you can surpass it. The dead are back up, and they're wondering, oh, again? Why again? And even the kids like, why do I have to listen to this guy fail in blowing stuff, dude? I don't want to listen to that. Besides, how how can you miss that mouth of his? And how come he looks hungover? I thought angels don't drink. Oh well, whatever. But most definitely, be prepared for this month because you'll be going through a lot of tests this month. And although this card's supposed to be saying that it's a Scorpio card, I'm actually getting it as a most definite Saturnian card because Saturn is a planet that tests. But also, this is also a Venus card because Venus actually makes the dead walk again. So please make sure you're ready for Gabriel to go. Oh, sorry, bro. Wrong hole. Can I go back to bed now? No, we gotta blow it again. I'm tired of blowing it. Well, that's what he said too, but he's still doing it. Be prepared, because this month might make you get a big headache, and you're not prepared. Just be for sure you're ready. That's what I got for Libra. I'm gonna grab a drink of water, not like shot. None of that. No, I don't even drink. Many moons ago, I used to. Okay. Sorry, I don't know what just happened. But anyway, I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab a drink, of water. So I'll be right back, and then we'll do Scorpio, and then that'll be the last one. So, intermission. That was so anticlimactic. For because with the Judgment card, essentially Gabriel the messenger is actually sounding the horn for the pretty much what's dead to come back to life again. So essentially that's symbolic of something in your past rising back up to see if you actually are finally able to surpass the lessons or the obstacles that have been being consistently repeated over and over again, and they're not being properly laid to rest. You'll be able to make it though, because if you surpass it, which you can, because believe me, I've had them too, and it can be a headache, but just know that, okay, I'm not blowing it again. You're going to be in the coffin after this. Yeah, you got this. You got this, believe me. I don't let anybody else tell you otherwise. Because if somebody tells you otherwise, you can tell them, "Aw, look at you thinking that you know how to, handle stuff." Just tell them to go lick it. Well, not lick you, but lick, let's see here. Just tell them to lick radioactive waste. That'll make them stop bothering you. Oh yeah, well how about you just lick some of this green goo, and now you'll have like 20 tongues. No, don't you dare make a joke out of that. Anyway, for Scorpio now. Last one, and then after that, we'll be finished. I gotta see who was trying to call me about a few seconds ago. And that's why my stream went all derp. So Scorpio, let's see if it comes up. Fortuna for fate. And the daemon for Scorpio. Malcolm is the daemon for Scorpio. Oh, it's the treasurer. Oh, hi, Libra. It seems that the Scorpio seems to maybe have something to do with you. Fine. And as for the deck for Scorpio, it's the Definitely Not Walking Dead Tarot, or Tarot Z. And my gosh, this deck is thick. Like, thick. Yeah, this deck has a lot of extra room if you catch my drift. So Scorpio, the core for the month of May. The month of May's core is strength. But this is not your typical everyday strength. Of course not, because there's no sassy cat. It's a brute force and elegant mistress that has kicked the bucket. What? Okay, whatever, dude. Security, health, financials, and the 3D mundane error day. Page of Pentacles. So we got rock, we got something rocky and extra rock. Okay. Communications, interactions with others, and the learning a new subject. Ace of Pentacles. Well, look at that. We have a lot of, solid ground being. That sounds so bad. Don't go any further. There's a lot of, coming in. Why did I think that? Don't be thinking that there's somehow pimps involved in this. No. This is not Saints Row. Come on, dude. Come on, milkshake. I have no idea. I'm just going with it. Really bringing back, times of my youth many thousands of moons ago. Obstacle or motivating force for the most overkill, but also most devoted sign. We have 5 of Wands. Looks like we're going to beat the living heck out of something. Regarding emotions, the cheesy boozy woo of spirituality, and also connection. And surprise, a pokey poke. Maybe not the way you want it, but still. 8 of Cups. This is a different kind of 8 of Cups now. This ain't leaving something. And suggested course of action. Knight of Pentacles. Well, we have one. No, don't say it that way. We have one thing that's wet. We have 3 things that are rock solid. We have something serious, and then we have something flaming. Splendid. But anyway, have 2 8s. Okay. So, if there's something involving a long-term investment, this seems that Divinity has a surprise for you incoming. And if you've been properly attending to it, yay, you're going to gain. If not, well, looks like Divinity is going to be like, oh, that's a nice tie they got there. I'll take that. Make sure that this month you're properly watching your budget and giving your just attention to what needs to have attention be given to it. And make sure everything's on point and all the books are balanced. In whatever means, be it financial, attention, care, directed of will, the idea. And the core theme for May for Scorpio is strength. Now this strength is different. You have to also see that these two, infected people that have, have a whoopsie happen, they're actually connected to each other. So essentially with this is that you have to be able to use both your come at me bro and your oh no I don't want to pick a fight, I might break a nail, and also be able to differentiate to being ready to table flip to just being a little bit more social and actually being a bit more be able to negotiate much easier. This month you might have to go in between the two, be feisty to diplomatic. But there will be some kind of informant of an incoming investment finally starting to get some fruition, because well, in this depiction, the individual looks like he finally got something, but it looks like something he got out of the radioactive waste lake. So you might be getting a piece, you might be getting some kind of sign that, hey, there's some wealth in this direction, but I would be very cautious with it. And since this is a page, it may be kind of immature in terms of like, it may not be much of a game, but hey, at least this individual tried. So make sure your investments are properly being taken care of and not being looted, metaphorically. Interactions with other people, communicating, and learning a new subject. Ace of Pentacles. This depiction, we have a man who seems to need to get his nails done and get his hand fixed. So most definitely. This would be a good time to actually learn how to do appraisal, like learning how to value gold and heirlooms and fancy, shiny stuff. Also consider maybe investing in metals, gold, silver, or precious stones and jewelry. Or even learn how specific stones, or even take like geology and learn the ins and outs of metals and stones to actually maybe consider making a line of work involving making blingy bling. Just make sure that nobody sees your nails after you're done, because yeah, that might not be a good selling point. Obstacle and motivating force. Obstacle, you may be very tempted to table flip and be like, oh look, brains, bye sucker. Motivating force, you can get away with it. That's not good advice, kid. I don't care, go with it. This month would be actually very good for blowing off some steam. So, aim for the sausage link. But if they don't have a sausage link, aim for the fish. Or fine, pop the balloons. I don't know, just shoot. Just make sure that you are not really wasting any kind of resources on, taking out anything that's a potential threat. But just know that you have to understand that you're using all that you have with you right now to its best potential, and you're not wasting anything that doesn't need to be wasted. Now the emotional part. Now this part might be getting a little dark. This Eight of Cups, the depiction has a man and then a ghost infected girl. It looks like she's jumping on him, not wanting to let him go. So if there was an emotional happening that happened, like if there's a separation, there may be something hidden on the physical, mundane world, but on the spiritual side, the person that has been left behind, or if you've been left behind, you may be very tempted to jump back to them. Or you might be considering maybe getting some revenge because it looks like she's about to bite him in the neck. So if someone hurt you, if it has to be done, then, teach them a harsh lesson. However, if this person does mean a lot to you, and if you feel the need that you should reconnect, that's your choice, not mine. This is a month that it has potential, but this is just a course of action. Slow and steady. Besides, if you happen to know a Taurus, they'll probably give you some foundation to, no, don't say that. You actually might be, maybe you should consider drinking some taurine. You vulgar twathead, I told you not to say that. But taurine is no, I don't care if it's an inside joke. Enough with the taurine, dude. Anyway, it's suggested to take your time and be slow and steady and calculative. And also, enjoy the month when you can, but just make sure you use your head and don't go too face first. Especially in a situation like this. Just make sure that everything is balanced and you're giving your attention to everything as it needs to be attended to. Nothing is being left behind or ignored. Because other than that, it's pretty smooth sailing. Just make sure you don't table flip and you balance between, if I were to suplex someone to can we talk about this? Table flip! Just make sure you can balance between the two. And don't be tempted to overkill. Conserve your energy, but when you need to let it out, just, make sure they do a flip midair. And really, that's what I got for you, Scorpio. And other than that, it is 11:11. I just looked at the clock. That's my cue, and I'm done for today. Tomorrow we'll be doing the last 4: Sagittarius, Capricorn, Aquarius, and Pisces. So see you then, and I am having hot flash.